BroadCoven. I'm really looking forward to dropping in with you today because I've had a download that's been building for a few days now. And it came in the most curious way, I have to say. I was doing some clearing up of clutter because Carúcula has come in for me recently. Carúcula is the red zucchini, and Carúcula doesn't like clutter. And I was thinking about clutter and all the ways that we can gather clutter. We certainly can gather clutter in our environments, and it has an energetic charge. We also can have a lot of clutter in our minds, clutter in our emotions, clutter in our spirits, and it's really reminding me of the energy that will be coming in with the fall equinox as we begin fall season. Fall is a time of following through with those last little things that need to be completed. It's about bringing the energy to the culmination or the harvest point. And this year, I feel like that's coming in very strongly. With the Hunter's supermoon in Libra on the 17th of October, we'll be out of the eclipse energy of the nodes of destiny. And so there's a lot that's going to come into view. And so I was spending some time hanging out with the oak tree, and I was listening to the cicadas. We have cicada medicine coming in. I'll talk to you about that. I do have a big opening channeled message for this one. It's been par for the course recently, but we will pull out the cards as well, okay? And I'll bring in some reads here. I'm going to open up with an overarching theme with the Sacred Rebels Oracle blended with the Halloween Oracle. It seems fitting for this time of year as we're letting things go, but preparing to step into expansion. And do remember, we have that important full moon coming in that will be a partial lunar eclipse in the sign of Pisces. It will be eclipsing that north node of Aries. It's our opportunity to see if we can finally find the way through to healing. So a lot is coming to a head right now. It's a significant time, but I digress. Carúcula is the magnetizing force when working with the dakinis, magnetizes things to us. Also allows us to get a clear reflection of where we're at internally by what we have magnetized to us. So it's very much a straightening by fire. Working with the dakinis, it's very creative energy. It's the creative feminine energy. They're known as the skywalkers. So it's a very potent energy, but it also will put you through the fire. It will put you through the fire so things get distilled down to their purest essence. And Carúcula doesn't like clutter. So I've been cleaning up some clutter, right? And as I was doing this, I was taking breaks and going and spending time out back with my oak. And I got a collective download that came in. And that was the seed of magic you planted last fall grows to a mighty oak with the hunter's full moon. So there's some seed of magic that the collective planted last fall. It may have seemed a little thing at the time. It could have been an inspiration. It could have been an initial idea you hatched or a certain direction you headed in that it seemed it was just a small step. It wasn't much. That's interesting the way that these cards just slid out here. It didn't seem much. You may have also dealt with a lot that kind of got in the way of you putting focus on what was maybe just an initial seed planted or a first step taken. You're being asked to follow that through with this fall equinox energy that will be coming in. This download is a little bit of like an alchemist almanac. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Farmer's Almanac, but it basically teaches you how to really move in harmony with the times of nature and enter into that sort of rhythm. And that's the most harmonious flow. And so fall is about following through. And there is something here you're being asked to follow through on that maybe got lost in a bit of a haze. I have to say a haze of just like a lot of things getting stirred up, okay, that made it difficult to see clearly the opportunity in what seemed like sort of an ill-fated situation. But with Black Cat here, we have fortune meets opportunity. And there's something that's being transformed here now. There's a hidden talent you have that is about to resurface. For some of you, it involves something that has to do with using your voice, and it may even be a song that wants to come out of you, but there's a blessing that's coming in here. There's a blessing that's coming in here that will have you singing for joy on the other side of this. It awakens a hidden talent within you. This is something you have. It's an empowerment you have that you may not be aware of now. And I keep getting this piece of this is something that is being recovered. This is something that's being recovered from the roots. And as I say that, the cicadas are outside, they're singing again. And that's really an interesting piece for that to come in that way, because the cicadas are all about using that song to birth things into creation. Also, the cicadas are nourished by the roots of trees. That's where they get their nourishment. So there's something about really connecting with the ancestral energy and perhaps recovering something. Now, for some of you, this is a bit of magic coming through the bloodline. It's being activated in you now. It's an empowerment coming in for you. And for others of you, this is discovering something that is a talent you had that you were never aware of, or maybe you cast it into the dark. A lot of you are going to be finding that your intuition is going to be picking up quite strongly. And the more that you can even hone that by inviting it forward, I recommend a little talk is good for that. That's candle gazing. You simply light a candle and you stare into the flame and you focus on it intently. And it's a way that you can kind of call forward the light within the dark. So even as we're moving through these hallways, okay, the hallway between the ending of one thing and the beginning of the next chapter, this can be a way that you can sort of like invoke the light to guide you forward. Just spending a few moments, you can do it right before you go to bed. You can light a candle and just sit in meditation, focusing on the flame. You'll be surprised how much it awakens your own fire within you, and might even give you some messages, put you in space where you're able to really have your guidance come through with more clarity. Talk is also very beneficial for the nervous system. It's very calming. It helps bring you into a calm centered space. And we're in a calm centered space, we're better able to receive our guidance. Now, a lot of you are just about to get to that other side where you're going to step into the light, that potential of that seed that you planted. And it really did come through as sort of like an acorn seed to me. And it was further highlighted because as I was cleaning things up, okay, I meander. You'll have to just go with me. This is how my stream of thought is. I just meander. So I loop things back around. It's a bit like going down rabbit holes and finding connecting burrows, but this is just the way my consciousness works. So there's this piece coming in here that as I was cleaning up the clutter, right? Because Carugula doesn't like clutter naturally. She magnetizes, and there's things that you haven't cleaned up. If you haven't done your chores, so to speak, then you're going to magnetize a lot of that stuff towards you to teach you a lesson. The clutter will accrue, all right? So now is the time of clearing out all that clutter on every level. And so I've been doing a lot of cleaning and clearing out of clutter. And I came across a teacup. A teacup that I had actually filled with different things last fall. And I had it sitting here. I don't have it in here right now, but I sorted through it. And in the teacup, there were all kinds of fortunes, and there were from fortune cookies, and there was mugwort, and there was sage, and there was opalite, and just for purification, for cleansing. So mugwort coming in, sage coming in, smoke cleansing coming in, steeping up these herbs as teas, infusing them in floor washes, infusing them to be used as crown pour overs, just to bring in a sort of a cleansing, a reverence for the transitions that you're moving through. Because even as we're following through, when we move into this season, there's things that are also falling away. What's interesting though is that it's like things are flip-flopped right now. So the light is found within the darkness, and we found a lot of darkness within the light. It needs to be that way because we're all moving through this energy of no mud, no lotus. It's all there to teach us something very significant. And so there's been a lot of heavy energy that people have been moving through during the light building phase. And now as we're heading into fall, we're getting to the other side of the heaviness. So it's like everything's sort of flip-flopped, everything's turned upside down, but it makes complete sense to me because over here we've been moving through those 4 treasures or 4 jewels of the Tuatha De Danann, and that's what it's about. Okay, it's about that realm of fairy where everything upside down is actually right side up. There's a certain vantage point you gain when you look at things from a different perspective. Okay, and so there's some kind of wisdom you're going to be carrying forward with you here. The greatest wisdom you're going to carry forward is the way that you deceive yourself. You may blame the deception on others, but if you're honest with yourself, you've always been able to see clearly. You always know when you are encountering a deceiver, but there's some times that you may prefer to deceive yourself and doubt your intuition. So I don't feel that this is a mistake that will be made ever again. Okay, this could be coming through very strongly for Sagittarian energy. All right, I also see some Leo energy here, just with the black cat. It's invoking that for me a little bit. That black cat more in like the Bastet form, you know, that need to enjoy a little bit more of, rather than the brooding side of what can be the shadow when you're moving through that terrain and integrating, to take in more of the appealing aspects of that 8th house of Scorpio. So for me, it's coming in as, you know, bringing in a little bit more, more of the sensual, more of the pleasure, more of the play, and moving into that energy a little bit more, you know, and the deliciousness of the darkness, the richness that's there, which is the potential. It's the unknown, but that doesn't mean it has to be feared, okay? So there's some kind of balance you're achieving here between shadow and light, and you're finding the middle way, which is the way through, or the third road, okay? And this brings about the dawn, the light after the darkness. It's a beautiful time of emergence. I see that really coming in with the hunter's moon. Okay, that's when all the lights are on in the room. I think that's the dawning of the new era, and that's going to be in the sign of Libra, and that will be when we see sort of a justice rolling out. Things are back in balance again. And we'll also be out of all the eclipse energy of the nodes of destiny. But first this, okay? So there is a little bit of a dive down for a little bit of wisdom, but from a different vantage point than you had when you did this dive down last fall. This time you're able to extract the best out of it, okay? Maybe even a little bit of mischief and play by sort of having those revisitations with those things that go bump in the night, but having a better understanding of it. There was a bit of you sort of, you know, casting illusion upon yourself, a bit of smoke and mirrors, a bit of glamour you cast upon yourself in order for you to see things clearly and be able to inherit this legacy of light that wants to come in, which I believe is this seed of magic you planted last fall. Now, talked about the teacup, okay? It's like a storm in a teacup, the way these downloads come in, all right? They may feel like they kind of travel all over the place or they're meandering, but they're actually quite contained. There's just a lot of potency being held, being contained right now. It's a potential. It's a potential, and it's all dependent on how it is channeled, all right? Bottom of the deck energy, do you see it's the Empress energy, the inspiration, the fruition that wants to come in at this time. It's tapping into the hive mind as well. It's gathering those who are drawn in by the honey. I just heard land of milk and honey. It's like the promised land, the sweetness of everything that will grow so verdant. It's that creative energy coming in. It's the promise of the seed that you planted last fall. Now I was thinking about the mirror moons, right? So this is big Empress energy coming in here, Libra energy, Taurus energy. I feel like that legacy of light, it comes in with the Hunter's moon. That's when the light building phase begins. But it's a process, okay? It's a process. And it was interesting because when I looked in that teacup, I'm getting all these things, I'm pulling all these things out. And this was after I already got this download about the seed you planted last fall. And I was thinking, did I plant any seeds last fall? And I remembered that I did plant an acorn. I just planted an acorn with an intention. And it was for me to grow in a certain way. And that's it's my personal intention. So I hold it close to my heart. But it was a wish for growth. It was a wish for a certain growth, a wish for a certain understanding, a fruition of understanding within myself. And as I was doing all my cleaning out of the clutter, because I'm like, I want to be aware of what I'm magnetizing to myself right now. And I want to be on Karukala's good side, because if she's coming in, I got to work with her. I mean, I have the red bikini on my arm. There's, I will be held accountable to do the work. I went into the teacup and there was an acorn. Okay. And I was like, wow, that's really potent, for that to come through that way. And then I remembered it started off like a chain reaction. So I feel like you're going through this kind of a similar experience, collective. You're going to be bumping up against breadcrumbs you left behind for yourself so you could find your way out of the dark wood to the light of the clearing on the other side that aligns you with your north node. All right? This energy coming in. It reminded me, I remember that last year or in the fall, right around the same time I planted that acorn, and it was very symbolic for me. I also came across this beautiful prayer. I stumbled across it because I do work with, I work a lot with the songs. I appreciate them. I appreciate the poetry and the symbolism of them. Words have so much power and depth of meaning for me. So I stumbled across a lengthy, I think it might have been in the Psalms, it might not have been. I don't remember it, but it was beautiful. And I read it all the way through, and it was so rich, the symbolism that came through. It was quite a few verses. And so when I found the oak in the teacup, I went, okay, what more is there to this? I said, I remember that prayer. So I went and looked up, and we got this mirror energy coming in, right? And it was wild because I just did a search, like the symbolism of the acorn in the Bible, just to see what would come up. And what came up was Matthew 13:31. So there's the mirroring energy. So to me, it's syncing up with those full moon energies of what's coming to a culmination and what's ending. And remember, hopefully we're shooting our shot with the October 17th full moon in Libra, which will be that Hunter's moon. And that'll put us in alignment with the Stone of Destiny, really heading toward that new chapter in our life. And so I looked it up to see what came in there. And we caught Matthew 13:31, mirror energy through 32. And the quote is, there's many different versions of it, but this is the one that came up in association with the acorn, since that's what I searched for. It's God's kingdom is like an acorn that a farmer plants. It's quite small as seeds go, but in the course of years, it grows into a mighty oak tree, and eagles build nests in it. And I thought, wow, that's really potent. The way that came through. An eagle, of course, is great spirit. And so it feels like this is a real culmination point. And it's been something that's been building in you over time, and something that it didn't seem like a big deal. You may have even done this a few years ago, and we have to remember as well to go back all the way to 2008, because this could tie back to that time, okay? A seed you planted back then, it didn't seem a big deal. It seemed inconsequential. It comes around. It ends up being like this legacy of light, okay? You may have went through a really dark passage on the way to get to this dawn that's breaking, but that initial inspiration grows so much. It's like the promised land. There's all this sweetness coming in here. There's community building here. There's something that causes things to grow, and it takes on a life of its own. Now, it's interesting because cicada medicine is also all about restoration. It's about bringing things back to life. And it also speaks of timing, having the right timing with things. You may feel like things have taken forever, but if you were really honest with yourself, the obstacle hasn't been without, the obstacle's been within. Your internal timing has told you it's not time for this. It didn't feel right. And you may be doubting that, but it's like a test of your faith, because you were meant to hold up, hold up. There's more that's coming in. You will be moving forward against the grain. I feel like the growth is in moving against the grain in order to recover something that for the time being has been a bit of a ghost of regret for you, all right? There's something that you're going to have to move toward. You're going to have to move towards your north node. We had the 3 to the 4, do you see? So that Empress energy is now transforming. You're giving up a ghost of regret. And in other words, in order to give up this ghost of regret and activate your destiny, there might be something you need to recover. And it might go a ways back. It could go back to 2008. But what seemed like a big row of bad luck is about to turn into an incredible opportunity. Moving against the grain is what's going to give you peace in this situation. Okay? Moving against the grain will give you peace. It's about recovering something subterraneanly as well. In order to tap into this redemption, okay, you have to face what you fear, which is the truth, which requires you to look subterraneanly within yourself. You got to recognize the shadow aspects in yourself that have been running the show, and where there needs to be adjustment and where you need to follow through with that, right? And by doing this, you recover what? We brought this in earlier in the year. You recover the iron gauntlets, okay, which give you the strength to handle Thor's hammer, which brings what? A tower of power, right? So it's all coming back around the bend at this time. I feel like that tower of power message that really lines up with the Spear of Lu energy that will sync up with the new moon in Libra that's going to be the Ring of Fire solar eclipse. And that will be impacting the South Node, okay? So there's some action you're going to take at that time. It's the tower that comes from subterraneanly, we have to remember when Thor's hammer was stolen, it was buried subterraneanly and it had to be reclaimed, okay? So this energy is kind of coming back around. This is rebirth energy. And you're going to rise from this time and you're going to see things in a totally new way. And that same theme, that came in regard to Thor's hammer, it got picked up with Redo, which is the rune of a journey. So this is where the journey begins. The journey begins at this time. And I do want to get one card to sort of symbolize the journey itself that we will be going on collectively. Redo, from Norse tradition, the runes, is about not only an external journey, and this is a blessed journey, okay? It's not like a journey that leads to your demise. This is a journey that helps you rise. This is a journey that helps hope swell, and this is a journey that fills the heart with joy and richness, true richness. There's something so beautiful, not only about the destination, but it's about the way the journey unfolds that has such power. And it's a journey that happens within, through, without. And part of that journey is stepping into the true power of being an alchemist, which is recognizing the creator activated within you and really sitting in that place of authority to move forward, to drive your chariot forward. Once you recognize that you're aligned with creator, you're going to feel this incredible momentum forward, because that will tell you the proper time to act. See, the problem is you've been doubting yourself, and it hasn't given you enough trust in your own intuition, your own wisdom. Inside, it's been telling you, no, it's not time to take this action. It's not time to do this. But you've been doubting yourself because you've been going through difficulties. But those difficulties were actually there as a help. They were there to keep you in place. There was something you still needed to integrate. The timing was not right. And as you sink into the timing of the fall, which is about following through, the timing will sync up. The timing really does sync up with that hunter's full moon. Okay, themes of Rado involve a lot around communication, also coming into a place of unity. It is unity consciousness. So recognizing you are not separate from creator. Also recognizing I am not separate from everything that I see all around me. It is part of me. It's also really getting in touch with that process of self-transformation. If you want to see activation of these changes in your life, they happen within before they happen without. It's about the soul's journey and tapping into your inner guidance. You have to be able to trust that. And as Rado came in, I'm looking through, it all came in as one download. I'm looking through the teacup and I come across the fortune that says, you are about to embark on a life-changing journey. You are about to embark on a life-changing journey. I even made a little short Reiki attunement to the energy of that. If you're fully ready to embrace it, it will bring you nothing but joy and richness and that arrival point where you know you really belong. I have to say, it's such a promise of so much to come in. There's a lot of power coming in here. There's a lot of movement coming in here. Rado is associated with Sleipnir, which is Odin's horse. Okay, so yes, you won't know what the full journey entails. That's the point. You got a quest for it, man. That's the point. Be valiant, okay? Because this energy of Rado is also very much associated with the Knight's energy. So do look for that Knight's energy to start coming in, right? The Knight of Swords, cycle of manifestation, cycle of alchemy. The air is invoked, ether, air first. The Knight of Swords, that's the, Frog energy, the sword of truth, drawing it from its teeth, activating it, moves you to the next gauntlet, you could say as well, moves you to the Knight of Wands energy. Okay, now the truth is merged with action. We got the fire behind it, and there's an activating force that happens there with the Hunter's full moon that brings forward what is needed to get something cooking in what that cauldron of Dagda, all right? We have to have the cauldron ready. We have to have it ready for the heat. We have to have the healing done so we can take the heat, so we can get things cooking. And it's something that doesn't just nourish you. It feels good all around. It's good for everybody. It nourishes all, right? And when you're aligned with that, it will feel right. You'll know the right timing to take the action. Don't worry about not having all the answers. This energy favors spontaneity. It favors just steeping yourself in the energy of the moment, moving with it. There's so much that will come through the more that you can just harmonize with the inner timing of when something really feels right. And when it doesn't, when it feels like, no, right now feels like time to rest. Or right now feels like time to do something creative, or right now feels like the time to go for a walk, or right now does not feel like the time to make a decision. You got to trust that. It's so important. It builds trust in yourself. It will put you in sync with the proper timing, right? There will be some exciting news that will be coming in, and it is a game changer, all right? And there's something about that harvest moon that does come in later this week. The harvest moon is the moon that is closest to the fall equinox, and this year that is that Pisces full moon, partial lunar eclipse north node Aries. Okay, so the true harvest at this time is still hidden. It's still hidden from you. Will you take the risk that you need to heal so you can receive the harvest? What do you feel? Do you see? Look with the moon. So your feels are going to come up. Apples and oranges, okay? You may be in two minds about things here. There's something you need to really consider here and find your balance with that moon, right? Because there is an ending happening here, balancing out. 44 energy, building block for the future, visions of life beyond death. So there is life. It is on the other side of what's released, what's cleansed, what's let go of, so it can transform, so it can heal as the way it's meant to, all right? And this is protected. It's a beauty for the future that is protected, that's on the other side of this letting go and healing. It's an important part of magic with Raven showing up there, especially in transforming the South Node. It is a seed for the future. You see that egg. It's the cosmic web of creation. You have to be willing to grok the medicine from this ending, this transition year. Opalite that I brought in earlier is a wonderful stone that assists with transitions. It can give you clarity in times of transition. It can give you strength in times of transition. Owl medicine here, coming in very strongly, Sagittarian energy, right? A lot coming in through communication, a lot of visionary experiences coming in for everybody. We're all tapping in more, all of us in our own way, through our own traditions. We're all tapping in more. You know, this visionary energy is not just for few. It's meant to awaken in everybody. And it's coming. You know, there's a deeper essence that wants to come in, and it is coming in to cut through illusion. The way to tap into it, though, is really sinking into your feeling. Get out of your head a bit, all right? It's about sinking into your feeling. There's something being activated here, and it is a bit of magic with Raven that transforms something through the release that acts as a building block for your future. And there's so much beauty that comes from it, and it's absolutely protected, okay? It's absolutely protected. You got the opportunity of a lifetime right now in this moment, I'm telling you, and it's right under your nose. And that is coming through as a riddle for you to resolve. It's different for everybody, but that is the riddle. I have to say, 33 on the clock. It is another building block for your future. You have the opportunity of a lifetime, and it's right under your nose. And part of what's preventing you from taking any action is you feel like you got to take some major action, like you have to make some grand gesture, and you don't understand. Remember, the oak that grows so tall and strong and mighty comes from that acorn, from that little seed. And you've been going through these changes. This goes all the way back to 2008. These changes have been happening over the years imperceptibly. Maybe there was something you planted last fall that does tie back to 2008. You'll have to think about it. You'll have to dig deep. All right, the answers are down below, down beneath the surface. Right? There's more ability you have to transform your life. You're not helpless here. All you need to do is make the subconscious conscious, and then you won't call it fate anymore. You'll recognize, I got the power in my hands. It was right under my nose the whole time. All I needed to do was contemplate my navel. But there is something here, okay? You got something that's worth its weight in gold, but you think it's a little thing. You just haven't applied
any energy to it yet. But you will recognize the minute you start applying energy to it that small opportunities, they can become great enterprises. It's that energy, all right? We know with Rado here that we are on a quest. We are all on a quest. And it's not just a physical journey, it is a spiritual journey. And we will be going places. The future has already been set in motion because of some kind of decisive right action you recently took toward a desired goal. And so now it's just really getting in touch with the depths of your soul, because that's where the treasure is. And for a lot of you, the inner child's holding it. It's like something from your childhood. It's like a long cherished dream that maybe the adult in you thinks is absolutely ridiculous. Like, that's child's play. And that's exactly what needs to be reclaimed with Chiron and Aries here, right? Rado will connect you with your Atman, your higher consciousness, so that you'll be strengthened in your abilities to perceive things, and that you'll be able to trust your own perceptions. And that's what's quite significant. And it's exactly the medicine that's needed at this time to secure the growth that wants to come in. Oh my God, will you look at this? Inner trust. Bottom of the deck energy. Okay, so let me go ahead and just shuffle this to get an overarching theme of this journey. This journey goes through a cycle of time. I personally feel the journey that is getting kicked off with the Hunter's full moon will be culminating by the time we firmly enter into the dawning of that age of Aquarius, with the changing of the nodes of destiny that comes about in the summer of next year, 2025, right? But we're heading in a process right now where we're actively will be building the light, moving forward here. It's difficult when you've been moving through shadow for a long time to remember what it feels like to step into the light. It may be a jarring experience for some of you. And because of that, you may doubt, right? And as you doubt, then you start to project those doubts onto your material reality. So there is something here about really getting in touch with building the light within you. And if you're not familiar, like I said, if you're not comfortable with meditation or turning within, or it feels very inaccessible, working with Tratak is a wonderful way you can do that, candle gazing. In fact, you can even send, thoughts that you would like to transform to the flame. It's kind of a more mentally engaged form of meditation, and it can have a real powerful effect. Look at this. Some of you, the voice that you need to share is through your writing, this coming in here, okay? The word wants to be written. So I do feel like there's some vision that's going to come forward here. And for a lot of you, it has you thinking of some message, okay, that you want to bring forward, or some kind of way that you want to share your voice. A lot of you may, you may want to write something. Maybe you always felt like you had a book in you, or you felt like you had a screenplay in you, or you're a musician. You want to write music inspired by this journey that you will have gone on by the time we get to the summer of 2025. But there's some transformation here. And again, with the monarch butterfly energy, that's like ancestor energy. You may migrate somewhere. You may go on a trip somewhere. Something you encounter there puts you deeper in touch with your roots, or it activates a vision for you. For some of you, it activates a way to expand your network, or it activates a way to build community in many places, maybe to seed a certain vision or dream in many places, activated in many communities. It has a huge ripple effect. There might be something you need to write for this to happen. There might be a proposal you need to write. You may need to reach out and send somebody an email that can, connect you. It can't even be just, working with a text, shooting off a text to somebody that you think can kind of like put you in contact with, some people who might be into building this dream. For some of you, it's like writing something, a vision you've had. It could even be a vision you had since you were a child, or somehow helps you recover a part of your child, a little magic of your inner child. Maybe it's the you who always dreamed big when you were a little kid, but then your dreams got crushed and somebody told you it's not possible. And so you stopped believing in dreams. And you're being asked to rewrite that story. Some of it is rewriting the story upon your soul so you can experience this transformation, like, erasing those words that others put on you. That might even be a good, sort of meditative healing process you could do too. If you had somebody who was really critical of you, even if it was yourself, you can see that like playing out in your meditation, and that person putting those words on you, those labels on you, and then you can erase them. You can even erase them as you take care of your body, anoint yourself with oils, give yourself an abhyanga, and you can just, you're wiping off all those words from you. You're releasing all those labels, all those judgments from you. This is how we can really get in touch with the way, the body is the altar. It's symbolic of, the earth. It's the physical manifestation of the creator. And so there's something about this too, and that will put you more in touch with the energy of being the creative force in your life as well. But we had three cards come out here. Wow. Okay, confirmations coming in so strong. You see, she feels, she knows, and there's the peacock there. Protection, it's also talking about, it makes me think of Yeye Oshun, creatrix energy within the Orunmile, and very much a lunar energy as well, and beauty and love and the exalted form of that, right? There's something here, there's a place of beauty that within yourself. You want to see that place of beauty in the world around you. You know what it feels like within you. If you don't yet, you will, as you go through this process. You're in a process of coming to life, okay? So you're moving out of this sort of drab, monotonous energy where it felt like it was just endless chores. Do I ever get to go to the ball? But this was so necessary. You can't see it here, but she's painting gold on her, which makes me think of kintsugi. It's a type of pottery that when pottery's cracked, you can put it back together again with gold, and it makes something broken beautiful again. So I feel like, just like Rumi talks about the wound is where the light gets through, I feel like that's what you're moving into now. You're actually discovering the light that was extracted from some pretty heavy experiences. And you're making your life art now. In some cases, you're actually making your life art. There's something that you got out of that awakened the artist within you, and you feel compelled to create this. And there's a lot of ways to create. For some of you, it's just a type of community you want to create. It's some dream you have that you're recovering, or it is a work of art that maybe gets people looking at things in a certain way, or a project. There's many ways that this can come through, but you're healing yourself. You're healing yourself. You stopped worrying about healing others and you healed yourself. And it's the source of all the richness and the empowerment that's going to come forward for you here. And you knew it. You've known it all along. Another building block number 22 here. So very much what you want, 44, 22. I was going to say what you want wants you, all right? And you know it. You feel it. You know it. You know a dream, a vision is for you. This vision will become activated in you. You see, 44, it's 44:38, 44:11. It sure will, okay? Visions of life after death, beyond death. There's something more here. Some of you may be activating mediumship. That may be something new for you that's coming in. And maybe it's about you embracing this side of you. Maybe this is something you haven't wanted to share with others because you were afraid of being judged. Okay? There's something that's for somebody out there. You know, if you got a gift like that, you're meant to share it. Okay? I mean, we all have the ability to be connected, but some are just more open to it. They're just like born into it, ready to receive those downloads. But there can be a lot of shame that's put on people who have visionary experiences due to not understanding, right? And yeah, it takes a certain bravery maybe to heal some of those wounds and step into it and let the transformation happen. But you're meant to, okay? It also, with this monkey here, it's making me think of the story of Kuan Yin and the Monkey King who got a little too big for his britches. And so Kuan Yin cut a deal with him in order for him to have his freedom from prison. She put a ring, ooh, yeah, blocking the throat. She put a ring around his head. So every time he got a little too egoic, the ring would tighten and give him a horrible headache. I think of headaches, and headaches are like criticism. Somebody's dealt with somebody really critical in their life, okay? Because this is coming through quite strongly. So I feel like you've dealt with something that was very critical of you. It may have been a headache for you, but it's not your headache. It's the headache of that person. There's something that you are transforming here and you are releasing. So if you dealt with a lot of judgments around your gifts, your innate gifts, okay, just because people couldn't understand or they thought in some way whatever you were sharing, you were trying to make some statement of being better than others. I don't think that's the case at all. I think that maybe people were just uncomfortable in seeing you step into some gift, or they will be. This is how it's coming in, like criticism for one's gifts, okay? It can be coming through in the form of maybe you do have real, direct access to your clairs. You may receive judgment about that. That may have been something you have hid. You're being asked to heal from the criticism and bring it forward. It gives you something to be proud of. This could be criticized for your art, the art you create. Somebody passing judgment, so it caused you to sort of dim your light. You're being asked to heal from that criticism and share this now. Something really powerful comes through it. It's a medicine. It's a medicine. And when you heal from it, it's almost like that medicine. Don't hoard it to yourself, because that's the kind of medicine that's meant to be shared. That's the kind of journey that Creator takes us on. And it takes us on a journey of really understanding the cycles of life and how they play out, how the future is being born in every single moment. With every single step we take, that road is rising up to meet us. And everything that was is just falling behind us. It's just shed. Every single moment is brand new, which is, what that saying means. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May you always have that impetus to move forward, okay? Not with you fighting against the wind. It's meant to be a total flow, but the flow is about really harmonizing with the season. And the season's fall. Fall equinox is coming in, and now's the time to get into that rhythm, to start to move into that rhythm where we just allow things to fall away as we follow things through. And sometimes that's following through with communication, or following through with tying off a loose end, or following through with closing a particular door, or following through by saying what you never got an opportunity to say, or taking that action that I should have done that a long time ago, or actually acting on what you already feel and know to be true, to activating that dream, no matter what anybody has to say about it. Okay? This energy coming in quite strongly here. All right, let's go ahead and pull out just a round tarot on this. And I do think I want to work with this glow in the dark tarot, since we are still moving through eclipse energy. Look at that, bottom of the deck, 2 of Cups. So I think we'll do just fine recovering from what we didn't feel we could transform in the past. It will bring a rising up to the North Node. There's also a meeting eye to eye. There is this healing that's happening. I do feel like we'll be able to activate this cauldron of Dagda, but now's the time to really just think of this as your intention, not trying to get over on anybody, but how can we meet, eye to eye? How can there be true healing rooted here? There is something coming in here. Some of you are having a healing experience with another. You're actually actively working something out with a soulmate. Doesn't have to be a lover. It could be a family member. It could be a friend. It could be a business partner, especially somebody you worked with something creatively on. Whatever this is, it feels really good and allows something to grow from it, something to share from it. It grows into a mighty oak. It's something that has roots. It's something that will endure. Yeah, I saw it bottom of the deck here. It's work that's meant to be done. This will grow, okay? For some of you, it is your work. Okay, there's something you're meant to partner with here. Maybe you're meant to partner with Spirit on this. Spirit gave you a memo about this a long time ago, planted the seed, you didn't do anything with it. And it's like, it's time. It's time. This alignment's coming in. You'll see the alignment will come in with that new moon, solar eclipse, ring of fire. Yeah, there's whatever this is, it will have you rising above what's challenged you, what's going to set you apart from competitors, let's say, people who are in the competitive mindset, okay? Because they move a certain way. What's going to set you apart from competitors into this spirit of collaboration with Spirit is your timing. Their timing's off, okay? You're dealing with people whose timing's off. You're on a different timeline here. So you need to stop getting caught up in old timelines, and you need to trust your timing. The only way you're going to be able to do that is you'll know when it feels right. And until then, it's sort of pointless to bemoan it, because whatever is being put on pause, it's necessary for the correct timing to line up, right? It's like movable parts right now. It will make sense. It will make sense. But where it's not feeling right and you're forcing to fit, that ain't the way to go. That's when you know there's a spirit of greed that needs to be exercised in the situation. It's like that groveling hands, like needing to grab for more because of fear of losing control, losing time, losing out, not getting what's due one. This energy, all right? So we're going to go ahead and let tarot here put that exclamation point on. We're reaching a bridge that we're going to have to cross here. Yeah, look, some of you rush in where angels fear to tread just because you think, I don't want to sit here. So any movement forward is a good movement forward, but not when you're not in touch with what you're feeling and you're being ruled by your head and you're looking at things from too much of a rational perspective. That's what's held up the cauldron of Dagda in the past. There needs to be more unification of mind, body, spirit. You got to get into your body and sink into the heart space a little bit. That will have you redefining this truth that you feel so compelled to act on. This truth is being a bit coerced by your shadow, I have to say. That's what this is, this desire to move forward too impetuously. Don't worry, this will clear up with that full moon coming in, the lunar eclipse in Pisces. It will make it clear where you may be glad you were held up, because if you would have acted impulsively and you wouldn't have been held up, you would have made a proper mess of things. That's sort of the way that energy is coming in. What else does the collective need to understand at this time? Yes, this is an important choice, okay? You're at the crossroads, and it's been put on delay. I have to say that the opportunity is coming in here to make a choice about this. And it is coming in. We got the Lovers. It was sort of crossing position, but it's on the upturn here. So I feel like the choice has been on pause, but this choice is about to be made. Gemini energy. It also makes me think of Jupiter in Gemini right now. So there's some blessing that comes out of making a choice. And that's what opens your road, okay? But you got to make the choice that feels right to you. It can't be a choice about what other people are telling you to do. You can't make this choice with your head. You got to go into the place of feeling. It's not until you feel it and lean into it and all the uncomfortable bits of it and do that work, okay, that you will know where to plant that seed that will grow. Whatever it is, it comes to full fruition here with the Empress. 55, 55 on the clock. Closing the old cycle, 10, South Node, Libra, rising on up swiftly. Here we go. There's Rado right there. Rado is also the wheel of life, and there it is. Transforming something that's been the deceiver, allowing the scales to fall from your eyes. Transforming something in the house of Scorpio, merging that with the Sagittarian energy that is the Wheel of Fortune to move into expansion. There is movement here. Because you were put on pause, you will be grateful. Insight is coming in that is going to allow you to solve a riddle. You've been, sitting on it the whole time. It's been right under your nose. It will make truth clear. And there's going to be sort of like record keeper energy coming in the experiences around you that will remind you of this truth that you sort of buried. You buried this truth subterraneanly. Ooh, yes, it's buried because you didn't want to look at it, right? But it's coming up, and it could be coming up around a Taurus, an Aquarius, a Scorpio, a Leo. Those seasons could also be significant. But this is movement forward, and it's on the upswing, and it looks good. But it does require you first to cleanse something, to walk away from something that you know needs to be released, right? I think that is going to be the action that you take with that new moon in Libra on October 2nd. It's the Ring of Fire eclipse, okay? Because there's the Knight of Wands energy, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, right? Moving away from something to go on that journey, You'll know where you're going. You're going to be on a quest here. Let's see what we got on kind of the deck, just to solidify things a little bit further here. I mean, there is a challenge along the way. There's a challenge to this fulfillment, but you're going to find out. You'll know by how you feel what's worth rising for here. Right? So we've had all energy on the board here. We got water, we got earth, we got fire, we got air. And there's something here that does need to be sacrificed, I have to say, because right behind the 9 of Cups, we have the 5 of Cups. So it's almost like parting is such sweet sorrow. You know what I'm saying? You have to take a moment to honor what you're releasing here, because what you're coming into alignment with is actually the true soulmate, somebody that you do need to reconnect with, or reconnect with. Even before the inception of this incarnation, you agreed to meet again. This is like somebody significant on your path. Big fire sign energy with this, right? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and there's a lot of movement happening here. There's something that's already set in motion. You may not realize it. Air sign energy coming in here too. And right behind that is the 2 of Cups, okay? So something's already being set in motion right now. You'll really see this transpire. I feel like it really comes to a culmination point in November, more toward the holiday season. It might even be while traveling at that time, right? There's something already in the works here. It does bring proper alignment. It brings a healing, and that is the Judgment. Judgment came in there. Okay, so that's Libra energy. Yeah, there is something that's coming back to life. And with that, we got the Magician. Okay, activation of the North Node. Right, I can't make this out. Right behind that, we have Temperance. Okay, so this is a balancing out. Angels on deck. And that's a firm yes from Spirit. All right, so it may seem impossible, but a seed that was planted, it seemed like a little thing, it's about to really take root.